If you want to increase your distance per stroke and reduce your stroke count, then in this video we're going to explore one small addition you can make to your freestyle technique that's going to help you do just that. So one of the common things that people tend to miss is this actual reach phase. So people will sometimes think when they first come to swimming, they think I've got to enter, then I've got to pull straight through because I need to get going. I need to get my propulsion happening. But they miss out an important part, which is the reach phase. And if you look at the profile of a swimmer when they're reaching forwards, that is when they are most efficient. They're most streamlined. So that can be, think of it almost like the fastest point in your stroke when you're most streamlined. So we don't want to skip that part. Even with sprinters, you'll see them move through that phase of the stroke. They won't take long there, but they'll still go through that reach phase. So it's important to have it. Now there's a really good drill that you can do to help just get used to that reach out in front instead of rushing down and rushing into the catch. Now, if we think of that part of the stroke, well, something's going to happen there. We're going to lengthen through our torso and through our shoulder and through our arm. And I like to think of that part where you go from almost flat to then on your side. Think of that as like a rubber band building up tension. And then when you're out here, you've got that tension built up and you've got use of these muscles and that tension built up through there to then to be able to relay that into the arm and into the stroke. And then you can actually use it to snap back a little bit. Now, it doesn't mean you're reaching forwards and then you're gonna pull through really quickly, but it does mean that you've got this built up tension and energy to use as you go through the catch and then through the pull. So we need to lengthen through the torso and through the shoulder, through that part of the stroke. So this drill called slide and glide is where you'll kick flat with one arm in front, one arm by the side, and then just gradually you'll rotate onto your side. You'll reach forward, lengthen through your torso and through your shoulder and through your arms. Imagine like you're reaching forwards for the wall and you're just going to come back. And you'll repeat that for 25 meters or 25 yards on one side and then swap arms on the way back. And we're just isolating that very small part of the stroke from when you would go to enter the water to when you would then reach forward just before the catch and we go back. And so by isolating that part of the stroke and practicing it and feeling for that lengthening through the torso and shoulder, then we get to be used to, all right, how much sort of reach, how much stretching through there do we need to have? And so if you find that you swim generally very flat, or you find that you don't get much out of your catch and pull, then this can be a really nice thing to just add in. So let's say you're going to do 625s of this drill as part of your warm-up before your next session. You got in there, you put your fins on, put a snorkel on as well, and you just got used to that reach and length, and you came back. And then what you might find when you move into the swimming portion of your main set or the swimming portion of your workout is you might feel that distinct reach phase. And you might feel as though maybe you've got a bit more time as you're reaching forwards and then reaching forwards on the other side. Instead of maybe feeling like you're quite rushed and it's a bit of a panicked situation that you're in, or where you just feel like there's no point of rest. But it's that reach phase where you somewhat get a little bit of a rest, where you can feel calm, you can feel composed, as opposed to this churning of arms and legs that's very continuous. Now, what you might find when you do this drill is that maybe you don't have very good balance with it. So you might start here flat, that's fine. And then when you go into the side, maybe you find that your arm wants to drop down, or your hips might want to kick to the side, or you get this lower back arch. Now, if you feel that, just try and keep that composure and that technique so that everything's really well aligned and the hips sort of stay near the surface as well. We're not getting too much of a bow through the lower back. And that way we can really just get good at keeping the alignment and keeping everything working together. Because with a lot of drills, sometimes people avoid the drills that they can't do well. And then, you're not really working on your weaknesses. And in swimming, we want to be able to work on our weaknesses. And this can certainly be one. Now, the other thing you might notice here is what that lead arm is doing. You'll notice that we've got this very slight downwards angle for most of that drill, where we've got fingers below wrist below elbow, because that's the position we want to practice when we're reaching forwards. Because as you know, if you've watched our videos for a while, that's the position where we can, first of all, start the catch soonest. And that's where we're creating the least amount of drag compared to if your fingers are up near the surface. We create a lot of drag there, or if the hand's down too low, we're going to miss some of that catch. So we want to make sure that the lead arm is in the right position to begin the catch. So fingers at about underarm depth and a very slight downwards angle. And then we also want to make sure that when we go from flat to reaching forwards, you'll notice that the shoulder starts to move forwards a little bit, and not out of the socket, but it moves out there. It goes forwards and sort of up near the cheek. And that's pretty similar to what will happen when we're swimming freestyle. So it's not like we need to keep the shoulders back all the time. You know, you're not keeping that shoulder back because it's not going to allow you to use your lat and your back and shoulder muscles as well as you go through the catch. Because trying to get a high elbow catch with that shoulder back, hard to do. So we've got to have that little bit of freedom through the shoulders, particularly when we're reaching forwards and extending. So that can be a really simple but nice drill to add in if you're looking to work on that little bit of extra reach and length in the stroke. So let's have a look at some footage of a couple of swimmers who do this really well. And if you're looking to improve your freestyle, check out the Effortless Swimming membership. We've got our 8-week Faster Freestyle course there. And that's where I'll take you through all the different aspects of the freestyle stroke in a really well structured way that's going to be simple for you to apply, so that after the 8 weeks, I can guarantee you'll be swimming faster and swimming a whole lot easier. So let's take a look at some swimmers and look at this extra reach that sometimes we want to add into the stroke.